Hey guys, how's it going? I'm having a pretty good ride here, and I've had to stop twice today to use the bathroom. I don't know what's going on, if I just drank too much coffee or not. But one of the great things about China is all of the public restrooms. And this isn't the main point of this video, but I thought I'd show you guys, just if you aren't familiar with Chinese public restrooms, kind of what they look like. I'm the only one here right now as far as I can tell, so. So we've got a regular sit toilet, sink, urinals, and the squat toilets, which I can't use the squat toilets. I don't know. I can't do the Asian squat. So I'm usually very happy that they have kind of they call it a handicap. This is the handicap toilet, which you can sit on. So I guess I'm handicapped. Yeah, so very grateful that those restrooms are all over the place here in China. Even in like really rural areas, all of the villages pretty much have these public restrooms, which is really awesome. The US, I always feel like I'm having to like beg to use the bathroom, or you feel pressure to have to buy something in order to use the restroom, and there's just none of that here. It's just like a common sense. Of course you're gonna have to use the restroom. Everyone has to use the restroom. Oh, I don't know, guys. I'm just like really happy today. I don't know if there's any particular thing, but I guess just been trying to practice being grateful, and even on some harder days, just to find something to be grateful for. And keeping up with that practice, I think you just start noticing the good side of things instead of the bad side of things. But one thing I wanted to kind of touch on was, as a YouTuber, or a filmmaker, or a digital creator, or whatever title you want to put on me. I don't really care for titles, but whatever you want to call it. There's this balance, and I'm trying to decide if it really is a balance or just a mindset that I need to shift on rides that are for me versus rides that are for filming and considered work. One sec, I've got a big intersection here to navigate. Okay. Yeah, and I guess what I mean by that is, so last week I went on a 100K ride with 3 other guys, and we did a loop of Yanqing, but on the other side of Yanqing, which I had never rode on. I got to see where the HC climb starts, so I'm gonna do that, I think, this week, if the weather lets me go do it. And then we went down to one of the famous sections of the Great Wall. We actually got to ride under the Great Wall. Like, there's an archway. I don't know if that's been there since ancient times or something that they changed and added in later on, because right after there's like this whole village with all these like cafes and shops and restaurants and Airbnb hotels, and really, really cool. Still pretty much closed down right now. And we got to go on this closed road that goes and follows the Great Wall, snaking all the way through the mountains there to come back up to Yanqing to come home. And they have it closed for fire prevention. It was really, really freezing that day. It was 0 degrees. Yeah, it's kind of like, where's that balance of being able to bring you guys along for those types of adventures, which is a really cool ride. And I really wish I'd been able to film it. But the reality of being able to film it without just having a 360 camera or 2-camera setup where I can have one pointed forward and one pointed at me the whole time, the logistics is just a bit hard when I have to be really focused on what's going on around me and putting out power and dealing with really cold and bad circumstances. One part we end up on G6, which is the main like side street to the highway, and it gets all the tourist bus or anyone who doesn't want to pay the toll on the highway takes that, and they drive really, really, really fast on that. They go up and down from here to Beijing really quick. And a lot of big buses for the tourists. So it's not something that you can be fiddling with cameras on. But to have had that whole ride, especially the part going through the mountains there, we got snowed on. I got to ride through the mountains next to the Great Wall while getting snowed on with apricot blossoms all around me and 1800-year-old musical tablets like into the side of the wall there. It's just, mind-blowing. So beautiful. Where do you find that balance of one for you, one for the gram, you know? And eventually I think I want to get it to the point where it really is just about not one for me, one for you type of thing, but it's all for me and it's all for you, where I don't feel like it has to be work. I think part of that is just getting the technology out of the way. So being able to have something that battery life is good, quality is good enough, right? There's how good is good. It's very individualistic taste on our end as a creator. You know, I prefer the look of at least a Micro Four Thirds APS-C sensor with the depth of field you can get, if not full frame. But the logistics of actually having that on the bike and filming yourself or filming something else, yeah, people do it, but they have to sacrifice a lot on the type of riding that they're doing in order to capture and tell those stories using that gear. And that's where I don't want to compromise. So action cameras, perfect. The question becomes, do you need 2? Do you need 3 action cameras to capture stuff so that you don't have to worry about all of that and you can deal with it in post-production? Or do you do 1 camera and you point it around and show things specifically so you don't have to have 4 hours of footage to go through when you get back? Or do you stick to a 360 degree camera and you just accept the warpness that you're going to get from that type of footage and the fact that you have to reframe it 100% in post when you get back? That's been the holdup for me to go the 360 degree route. Those 2 points. I don't want to have to spend all the time in post-production both finding the moments that fit the story that I'm trying to tell and reframe it. It's like a second component to it. So I have to deal with the framing on the bike then. That's just how it goes. So yeah, I almost considered selling my Pocket 4K and switching all over to maybe like a 2 action cam setup with a 360 camera, or a 1 action cam with a 360 camera. We'll see how things go. I like still kind of knowing that I have really good high quality gear to do certain projects, but I don't know if that's me getting back into that what if mindset, which I have a video on that on YouTube when we were moving from the US to here, trying to figure out what we keep, what we don't keep, and falling into that what if mindset a lot. Because I guess part of it is I haven't really found exactly where my niche is yet. I haven't found if I want to do more freelance work in videography here. And having the Pocket 4K leaves that door open for income. But then on the flip side, maybe having the 360 camera would actually open up other opportunities for me too. Maybe I'd be able to decide to go do some cycling events and use that camera to tell those stories. So trying to find where's that sweet spot of the gear that enables versus the gear that prevents. Anywho, those are just my thoughts on today's ride that were going in the back of my mind, and figured I'd share them with you guys. Thanks for coming along. If you have any thoughts around the gear and whether or not I should sell my cinema camera and switch fully to action cameras and maybe get a 360 camera on top of that, let me know down in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.